up, one of the main things that got me into fitness was always watching different types of movies like X-Men, The Avengers, watching loads of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, just way back in the day. And I always used to be so envious of how they looked, their physiques. You know, honestly, like even like playing sports from like when I was like 10, 11, I really wanted to have that sort of like physique. I'd like make my mom like buy me different types of like healthy foods, you know, greens, vegetables, but like that was way back before I knew what it took to actually get that type of physique and what it takes to reach it naturally and in like a reasonable amount of time. And hopefully in this video I'll be able to break down some key ways that I've been able to get into a physique and a shape, and you know, just how I was able to reach my fitness goal in a fairly reasonable way, also maintain it, which I think is the most vital part in like reaching this goal. Because what's the point of spending so much money on like protein and gym memberships if you're not going to change your lifestyle to be one where you can maintain that level of fitness, or at least, you know, stay around the weight or the body goal that you want to look like long term. So yeah, let's get into this video. I'll say the first thing is to be consistent, okay? You need to have consistency, okay? And this comes down to discipline. But how can you have discipline if you've never really had to do anything, you know, long term? I would firstly start by not trying to be perfect, okay? You're never going to be perfect. When it comes to eating healthy, there'll be days that you slip up and you binge eat. There'll be days where you just don't want to eat the food that you've made or you've meal prepped. There'll be days when you've gone out shopping and you've bought loads of like lean protein and some nice vegetables, and you have a recipe in mind but you just don't want to make it, and you know, like you see your family or friends going out to have some nice meals. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this is quite hard to you know, push through, but I do just say, even on days when you mess up, don't wait until the following week to restart your plan. Just start again the following day, okay? Don't keep pushing it off and be like, I messed up, let me start again next week. I messed up, I'll start again next week. Just start again the following day, okay? Because your graph for weight loss should be like this, okay? So there'll be some like down moments, there'll be some highs, but overall, as you can see, it's going higher and higher and higher, okay? So don't aim for perfection, just aim to be consistent, okay? And on days that you mess up, jump back on the wagon the following day immediately. Don't wait until next week or until next month, and don't, you know, just decide to binge the whole week when you think you've messed up and you've had like the wrong meal, or you've had a snack that ruined your meal plan. Start again, the same plan, following day. Don't miss it, because doing this over time is what builds your discipline and builds your consistency. And discipline really is just doing stuff when you don't really feel like doing it. Like even me losing weight, and most people losing weight, you sort of think that these like famous actors, you know, the Ryan Goslings, like you think that these people, they get into that sort of shape because they have some sort of advantage over you. Maybe they have better genes, and you know, that does come into play, but you know, overall, to reach that level of shape, or even something close to it, it just comes down to being consistent and to discipline. And the only way to have discipline is to keep doing things when you don't feel like doing it, okay? So to keep going to the gym, to keep, you know, maintaining to your diet as much as you can when you don't feel like it. And food. So it comes down to calories in versus calories out. As much as you go to the gym, you can't out train a bad diet. If you're working out 6 days a week but your diet isn't clean, or at least mostly clean, let's say like 80% clean, then there's just no point of you doing that, because your calories, it will just start to add on a lot more fat. Let's say like you're trying to build muscle and lose weight and just get more lean, like let's say to get into a sort of Ryan Gosling type look. That does need you to have somewhat of a strict and consistent diet, okay? Now, there's loads of ways to eat healthy and to eat really good food. I believe that I eat somewhat healthy, and the food that I eat, I really enjoy it. The meals that I eat are so good that I ate the same meals cutting and also when I'm maintaining, because I genuinely like the meals, and I think that's the best way to eat. Now, I've made loads of videos on the types of foods that I eat and make, but again, there's loads of different types of low calorie, high protein recipes on YouTube, on Instagram. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at justcharles100. That's where I post all of the recipes, and I also post daily on my story, going through what I'm eating, what I'm buying, and you know, just different ways that I still really enjoy the food I'm eating, and how you can as well. So yeah, stick to your diet plan at least 80%. Of course, there'll be times which you slip up. Again, get back on the wagon, and also maybe incorporate some form of cheat meal once a week or twice a week. But again, this just comes down to how much calories that you are eating, okay? Or maybe you can start doing some type of fasting or intermittent fasting during my cutting period. And even something that I do now is I don't really eat until like 12 midday, just because I feel it helps me to stay consistent, because once I start eating at 9, there's like longer gaps right between each meal, and I feel like that makes it harder for me. But when I start my first meal at like midday, it's like shorter gaps until my next meal, and over time that's worked for me. And even now when I'm mostly maintaining, I do find that this is just something that I stick to normally. I'm not too hungry, and I'm more hungry when it comes closer to the night period. But again, this might be different for you. You may feel less hungry at night and more hungry during the day, so you may want to start eating earlier and then start fasting from like 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. So just find what works for you. Trial and error. That's also like a sub point from this is trial and error. Okay, find out what works for you. Watch different videos on YouTube, consume a lot of content, and just see how the different people that you look up to, how did they reach their fitness goals, how did they eat, and how can I incorporate that into myself, into my own work-life routine, and also just see what works for you. Okay, I did watch a few videos and then I found different ways to eat and different times to eat, and then the one that I found and that I'm using now is not the best one, but it's the best one for me because I can stick to it and I can stay consistent. The best meal plan for you, the best regime for you, even for like strength training, is something that you can stick to. The next point is to set a realistic time goal. So if you want to reach this goal of like looking like, let's say I've used them before, like Hugh Jackman, Ryan Gosling, you don't really have the time that they do. Like, they could have anywhere from like 6 weeks to 6 months, and their whole job is to get into that shape. So they can train twice a day, they can have coaches, sometimes even multiple coaches for strength and conditioning, they can have private chefs or just meal plans. So, and also a lot of them as well, they're also on some form of performance enhancing drug. If you're trying to do this naturally, this isn't something that you'd want to go down by. So just have a realistic goal. I would really just say try and enjoy the journey. Track yourself against yourself, take pictures, take photos, and weigh yourself, because sometimes the weighing scale may not really move, but your body has definitely changed, or your hip line, like your waist and your shoulder ratio, has gotten better. So just track yourself and measure yourself against yourself. Okay, so just run your own race and don't try to mimic the results, because it may take you shorter or longer to reach those same types of goals. Okay, so track yourself against yourself and stick to it. And the last point I would say is to incorporate some form of cardio that you enjoy. So for me, I really like doing cardio. I grew up playing basketball, so I think that's probably where it comes down to. And you may not like doing cardio, so again, this is where the flexibility comes inside. Incorporate something that you enjoy and that you can stick to. So for example, that could be going on walks and just trying to reach 10k, 12k, 13k steps per day. This may be you having a few days to run or to jog. This may be you doing some bike training or some rowing machines at the end of your strength training workout. There's different ways to add cardio, but I think having this, especially if you're in a calorie deficit and you're trying to lose a bit more weight and build muscle, then I would definitely recommend this. Even if you're bulking, then just some form of like cardio, and then just drop the times, but just some form of cardio is really good for your heart health. And I've felt that the more I've done cardio, it also helps my strength training, because my endurance has just gotten better, my heart feels stronger, and my heart just feels like it works more efficiently. And even when you're just doing your day-to-day life and you see yourself having to run from one place to another or to run up a flight of stairs, you just don't get tired because your heart is just strong. Resting heart rate has dropped, and I think overall this is a net positive just for your day-to-day life. So yeah, these are like the main things I would say: how to train like a movie star on a budget in medical school, and just a few more stuff as well is just where you shop. I know like most stores today, the prices aren't really that different. I would say shop more in like Aldi or Lidl, but even these days they're like quite similar prices to Sainsbury's or like Tesco. So just make sure to just keep track of what you are spending. And also, like for me personally, I do shop between Aldi and Sainsbury's, but that's mainly because those are the stores nearby to me. But for you, that could be Tesco or Asda. And this is its own whole video. So, and I've made a few different videos. I'll try to link them here somewhere. And also just follow me again on like Instagram to see my actual meals and what I spend my money on when I go food shopping. It's at Just Charles 100. Okay, but like the main thing again is try have a plan of of the meals that you want to make before you go shopping, and then buy those ingredients in a few days. This helps you to stick to it and helps you on days when you come back and you don't really feel like making food. You already have a nice high protein, low calorie meal there, meal prepped, which makes it a lot harder for you to want to spend more money and to order takeaway or to go out and to eat out, because there's food there. All you have to do is to heat up the food. So I would really just say that, you know, make a plan before you go shopping of what you want to buy, meal prep, and stick to it. And again, if you fall, just get back up the following day, get back on the horse, and I believe that you guys can do it. If you want to see some more videos like this, then please let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, I'm looking forward to dropping more videos soon. I know I keep saying this, but just whenever I think of something, I'll just film it there and then just drop it on my channel. So yeah, please leave a like if you've enjoyed this video and subscribe for more.